Not surprisingly, the auto company known for its handling and reliability also has the best gas mileage. Honda, the most fuel-efficient auto company in America.
Hello and welcome to Tech 101. I'm Eric Hesseldall, Senior Technology Writer here at BusinessWeek.com. This is our weekly video podcast segment where we answer your questions about technology. So send us your questions. Email address is tech101@businessweek.com, and we'll do our best to answer them and in plain English. Our question this week comes from Dave in Manhasset Hills, New York. I have a lot of music on audio cassettes that I'd like to move to CD. How can I do that? Now, Dave, it's really easy. What you want to do is digitize the audio, and to do that, you want to play it here, and this is a cassette player, and record it here on your computer. Pretty simple process, really. I've got a cassette here. This is a tape of a radio show I made when I was in college, and I'm going to insert the tape. So you've got a good tape player here, and then the next thing you'll need is a stereo patch cable like this. And you'll know it's stereo by the two notches right here. So don't get a mono audio patch cable confused with a stereo patch cable. Mono will only have one notch, and stereo will have two. So I'm going to show you Audacity, which is essentially identical on the Mac and Windows. I'll show you what a recording session looks like. We'll start a new project, and I'll hit the record button here in the program and start the tape over here and get a few seconds of bare naked ladies. Stop the tape and stop the session here. That gives you an idea of what a recording session looks like, and you can see the levels on the screen. You'll want to experiment. It'll take a little trial and error to get your settings just right with the volume on the player as well as the volume settings in the recording program. So that will take a little trial and error before you get it just right. Now I'm going to close this one because I took this same tape yesterday before I got here and recorded about 12 minutes of audio. And there's essentially 3 songs on it. And the first one is the one you just heard. And once you hear where the audio of the song stops, you can export your selection as an MP3. Now, one point while it's exporting that I'm going to make is that you'll need a little extra something called the LAME encoder, which you have to download separately, but it's very easy to install. And this applies basically to Windows or the Mac or even Linux for that matter. Once you've exported all the songs you want, I'm going to open iTunes. And you can see here I have three songs, If I Had $1 Million, Little Girl Blue, and Ain't I a Woman. And I've edited all their information directly in iTunes for artist and title and so forth. And I've created a playlist called Cassette. I'm not that inventive. And from here you can burn directly to a CD. And I can even show you how to do that. And now that I've got this playlist built, I have the option to burn it to a disk. Obviously, I've swapped out the tape player for a turntable. The setup is essentially the same with a turntable, although I like to use a different set of cables. This is a monster cable that connects to the RCA outs and directly to the line in. Works great. This will go on the back of, say, a stereo amplifier, or in this case, it connects directly to the turntable itself. Now, the point about turntables, if you want to take audio from a turntable, you want to make sure you get a model that has an internal amplifier, which this one does. This is the PT-01 from Newmark, which I found for about $80 on Amazon. There's a few other models out there that will connect directly to your USB port, which this one doesn't do that, but it has RCA out ports and also a regular stereo out port on the side. And they'll connect directly to the computer, and you can record your audio directly from the turntable that way. Now, point about sound quality. When you're encoding sound, you'll want to pick a good bit rate. I'd say at least 192, maybe even 256 bits. That'll give you the best results for music. For a voice program where someone's talking, you can pick a lower bit rate and generally save yourself a little storage space. 128 should be fine, if not even lower if you like. Now, another point about scratches and the other things that tend to show up on records and tapes. Most of these sound programs will give you the option to go in and edit them and clean up some of that noise, some of the pops and scratches and so forth, but personally I like to leave them in. But that's another segment. We can show you that in the future, how to get rid of those. So Dave in Manhasset Hills, I hope we've answered your question about how to move your music from cassette or vinyl to a CD by way of your computer. That wraps it up for this week's Tech 101 segment. And remember to send us your questions. The address is tech101@businessweek.com, and we'll do our best to answer them in plain English. Remember, technology should be easy, and when it's not your fault. We'll see you next week.
Not surprisingly, the auto company known for its handling and reliability also has the best gas mileage. Honda, the most fuel-efficient auto company in America.